Okay, quick video. That's what I started messing around with. I haven't done much drawing lately because I've been busy finding out what's going on. Do you know what I mean? But I hope I get time somewhere else. Anyway, I want to talk about forgiveness. Okay? And wisdom. Both things of which cost nothing. Wisdom doesn't really require much knowledge of anything, does it really? But forgiveness, anyway. My story, it gets worse than that, by the way. That's just that's just a bit of salad on the prawn cocktail before the steak. Yeah, I'm not even joking. I hope one day you get to read it in the book. You know, the big book that God speaks about. I really do. You're gonna laugh your head off. You won't believe it. You won't believe it. You think you've been following my channel and you're thinking some crazy things. Wow, man. But I'll tell you what I did find out when I was studying the Bible, finding out about God, what's going on. I did come across one chapter, and it was about that the people that get left behind or go to hell, whatever happens, that you get to live 7 times of someone's life or something like that. Like my life, say, for instance, you know what I mean? So if someone's not been a good person, they might have to live my life 7 times worse, for 7 times longer, for 7 times longer. And all I can say is, whoever that is, I wish I could see him now and have a word with him. I'm not joking. I'd forgive him, I'm telling you now. And also, I'd like to put myself forward, if anyone's listening. CIA, Intergalactic Federation, 77 Brigade, the British Crown Vatican, Rockefeller, Trump, Scottish Rite, Albert Pike, anyone, bring anyone back from the dead. I will actually, and I'm not exaggerating it, I swear to you I would actually nail myself to a cross right now if someone said, okay, if you do that now, we won't do the things that we're going to do or whatever, you know, we won't hurt you anymore, we'll stop doing everything. I would gladly nail myself to a cross. And you know me, I've already had one nail in my hand. I fell 30 foot off my balcony, got my head kicked in and bit by a dog. And I could have got up and actually fought back. But, you know, I'm a nice person. So, and the dog thing, I wouldn't want to hurt the dog, but it was getting a bit personal after the 16th bite. When he bit me in the back of the head, you know, it was a turning point really. And that's when the officer stopped. The officer didn't feel under threat anymore from my presence prone on the ground. Anyway, I digress. Yeah, I would gladly do it. I don't know anybody who wouldn't. Well, actually I do. What am I on about? But yeah, I'm not even joking. And that's it. Anyway, forgiveness. So yeah, my dad was brutal. You know, the worst things happened than that, believe me. And I used to be angry about it. And it made me... You end up internalising yourself, basically, which is not a bad place to be. I can assure you. And I was very astute when I was young, because I used to sit and listen. I used to pretend I wasn't listening to the adults, but I was listening to every single word. Oh, everything. I wasn't watching the telly. Well, I was, but I was listening. So anyway, getting back to forgiveness, I keep digressing, don't I? So, okay, I'll give you an example. My daughter's mum. Okay, she's got narcissistic behaviour on a high level. And in my opinion, it's damaged my daughter. I don't want to say irreparably, but let's just say, and she's, well, it's horrific. Put it that way. My daughter's seen violence. My daughter's seen the mum getting beaten up. My daughter tried to intervene. The husband ran up to my daughter, shouted in her face. My daughter wet herself, had to escape next door to the police in Greece. And then when she came back into the villa, her mum had been in hospital for 3 days and she had to spend the next 3 days with the guy who'd just done it. Anyway, look, that's another story. But Ellie knows what's going on because she can hear me, and she's been living with me, and now she's living with her mum, and she's seen all the survival stuff in here, and she's heard me talking. And I've told her. And she knows about the Egyptians, and she did when she was 5. And she's been to the pyramids and everything. She knows about the planets. And I said to her, if anything happens, come here. And I don't have to exaggerate any further than that, because she knows exactly what I'm talking about. But what I did the other night, I thought I'd just extend that hospitality and love to her mum. And the guy that her mum married, who was actually my best friend at the time. And they both tried to destroy me, but it doesn't matter. I did that for a reason. Because I know that if Ellie does come here, and she's here surviving, all she's going to be thinking about is a poor mum and a little sister who's only 5 years old, and, you know, the other guy. And that she's not going to be very happy about that. And it's not the right thing to do anyway. So I said to her, if anything happens, come with your mum and Annabelle and that person, and I will look after all of you. Okay? That's what I said to my daughter. And she understood it perfectly. And she's 15 years old. My father, my mum has a sister. Her name's Yvonne. My grandfather liberated a Dutch village on the Bridge Too Far thing, and the lady's name was Yvonne in the house and named the daughter after her. And she's been a Christian all her life, God-fearing person, and my mum hated her because she was rich and successful, and she had a good life, and my mum was unfortunately under the hammer of my dad. Anyway, but she cannot forgive my dad for what she did to my mum and her sister. And I had to give her a ministry, me, of all people. And I said, look, I want you to forgive me dad. I said, because I've got to. I said, because it wasn't his fault. You have to go back and back and back and back and back and back and back. What, are you going to blame someone else? And also, I think you should go about your life at the moment. Like I said, this is only advice. You don't have to do anything I say. But as if God is stood next to you. And he's judging everything you say. And I mean that. I was in a situation today when I asked somebody a question. I'm not saying I didn't like the response, but I thought, okay then, let's just put it this way. I said, okay then, when I ask you a question now, I said, if God was here now, and I heard you answer that question the way you did, after I've just asked you, do you think that he'd be happy? Well, I knew he wouldn't. But this person, we had a bit of a, you know what I mean? But that's all I was asking him to do. I wasn't going to judge him. I just asked to say, how would God view what you've just said? And that goes for everybody who's making any, judging anybody. I think Brobox left a great, he's my go-to monk, by the way. It'll all be explained when we get off this place. And you're going to find out. He will leave the quote again. But yeah, just forgive everyone. And honestly, I've been ministering, I've gone around, I've got my little army. It might not even happen, you know what I mean? But it doesn't matter. In my mind, I'm meeting 200 people over there, and hopefully it's going to be all right. And that guy, the little Muslim guy from the shop today, oh my God, he was so happy. He walked along with me for about, 1,000 yards, and I was banging in his ear. I said, right, this is how it's going to be. I said, we're going to be like the Aboriginals, you know what I mean? So they will let women do the stuff and we'll sort everything out. I said, if any men do anything wrong, I said, we've got to beat them up, because that's what the Aboriginals did. And all the major decisions go to the elder women, and then they come back to us, and they decide it's any good, and then we do it. And any man goes near anybody, we get the laser pan out. But yeah, just forgive everybody. It's the best way. Be as light as a feather. Yeah? We don't have to be. Because you remember that demonstration I gave with a magnet? Remember? I should have drawn hearts around it, shouldn't I? That's what I should have done. A bit slack there. Artistic. 5 out of 10. Should have drew hearts around the magnets and I put a black one heart around the one that stuck down. You get me? Okay. Peace out. Love you all.